15. Don Hutson. The only white guy to make this list. If you watch a highlight reel of the guy, all of the plays are deep together with his arms stretched running past that unlucky cornerback. Don Hutson may be a player for any age and everyone ages, and is that the only footballer that I might even mention within the same sentence because the legendary. 14. Jerry Rice. The only player on this list to have a mediocre 40 time. For some reason when he had on those shoulder pads he was blazing fast. Regardless of what his 40 time says, if you watch film of him, he is running past people. 13. Eric Dickerson. Dickerson's signature play was one where he was running into open space with two defensive backs chasing right after him but unable to catch up. Dickerson's great ability helped him set records which have stood the test of time, most notably his mark for most rushing yards in a single season. 12. Herschel Walker. Like Dickerson, he was an amazing athletic specimen. Many will recall the great strength he possessed for someone his size, but his speed was just as impressive. His athleticism translated into great success in the NFL, yet for some reason I always expected more of him than he gave. 11. Ron Brown. A St. Louis Rams wide receiver with great hands and even better speed. Brown was an Olympic gold medal winner. Unfortunately, that did not always translate to great success in the NFL, which is the only reason he isn't higher on this list. 10. Champ Bailey. The first of 4 current players on this list. If you are a shutdown corner, you have to have great speed, and that's what Bailey has. Bailey has had a shocking career thus far with the Redskins and Broncos. 9. Bo Jackson. There are many what-ifs in Jackson's career. If they had all been answered, who knows how good he might have been. The fastest running back on my list still had his fair share of success with the Raiders, but that doesn't answer the what-ifs. 8. Cliff Branch. If this list shows anything, it's that speed kills. Many football players with the no. 21 were super fast, like Lieutenant. However, out of all of the great running backs to carry that number, Branch, a wide receiver, could outrun them all. Unfortunately, as many great plays he made with his speed in big games, it didn't always translate into wins, just like 7. Randy Moss. Even in his 30s, Moss was still the deep option in 2007 for Tom Brady despite a blazing Dante Stallworth. You really should have seen him as a Viking. Those were arguably the best and unarguably the fastest years of his career. 6. Joey Galloway. Even today, as he gets older, it doesn't seem he is getting that much slower. Even as his 37th birthday approaches, he can still run past defenses together with his great speed, and most of the people would put him higher. He would be in my top 5 if it wasn't for 5. Devin Hester. Despite a historical kick return on the first play of Super Bowl 41, the Bears couldn't pull off a victory against Peyton Manning and the Colts on the NFL's biggest stage, but let's not take anything away from Hester. In my mind, he is without question the greatest and fastest punt kick returner of all time. However, his scouting report says differently, and so does his 40 time. It's yet more proof that all the answers aren't on paper. 4. Willie Gault. The first of 2 players on this list to have a championship ring and Olympic gold. Gault was blazing for his time. He was also featured in the 1985 Bears Super Bowl Shuffle and was a key part of that overlooked defense. 3. Darryl Green. This Washington Redskin was the ultimate team player and always did his responsibilities before trying to show off. His many interceptions are impressive, and so was his speed, but what amazes me is his off-the-field contributions to the world, unlike most current players who are getting in trouble. Pac-Man Jones. 2. Deion "Primetime" Sanders. The most versatile footballer of the fashionable era, he was also the fastest. Primetime wasn't his only nickname, but it was the most fitting. He had big play potential anytime he had the ball. Whether it was on special teams, returning interceptions, or catching passes, he used his speed to catch the football and take it all the way to the end zone. 1. Bullet Bob Hayes. Pure speed. Hayes did not have great hands, wasn't an outstanding route runner, and wasn't that great getting into and out of his cuts. He was just too fast for that era, or any era. Bob Hayes has been forced to wait while lesser talents have surpassed him for the Hall of Fame, such as Michael Irvin, who is second to Bob Hayes in Cowboys touchdown catches. Hayes had the speed to run by cornerbacks and make them look silly and slow. The second player on this list to possess a famous nickname and to win an Olympic trophy and therefore the Super Bowl. Bob Hayes is probably not in the Hall because he unfortunately used drugs after his career instead of helping to community like fellow superfast freak, Darrell Green.